I really, really struggle with the changing the license though, because you're somewhat making a contract with the rest of the world when you put something out, and then to turn around and say, yeah, no, we were just kidding. We want to go
Mm.
with this different model. That I have a hard time with. The bait and switch is not good for the community and the overall collaborative ecosystem either.
Yeah, there's got to be a better way, and I would love to have the resources at the USI to help these conversation to to have this conversation in a safe space because I think it's time we have it.
Yep.
Do you see the negative effects of these kind of behaviors already?
I would expect no, not really. It's one of the fascinating things that I want to see. In fact, with the annual survey that we do with together with Perforce. This year, one of the questions was differentiating between Open Search and Elastic, and differentiating MongoDB and MongoDB compatible API service storage service. So we can start monitoring whether people are switching to compatible systems. I mean, it's really complicated. The bait and switch is definitely a bad thing. The introduction of new licenses and is also confusing because, like you were saying, Phil, it just confuses the lawyers and makes all more complicated than it should be. The advantage of the open source, if there is one, the main advantage is that self-sovereignty of developers over their technological choices. And if you remove that, then we're back to the age where you need to call a salesperson in order to do any business.
Yep, and the moats get formed, and and the incumbents win. So
yeah.
I mean, when it comes to these license changes, sometimes I get to wonder if it's about not understanding open source, or like not being able to get the most out of open source, or it really is just because they can use open source as kind of a marketing campaign and have an open source license and then spread the word, show everybody what this tool and artifact is all about, and then when enough people know, then say that, okay, now we are switching to a different model because that's what our business is. And the whole charade just ends up being a very different, weird marketing campaign.
It's hard to tell. It's probably all of the above. It's wanting to exploit the popularity, the fast adoption, rapid adoption. You put your early code as a Apache license on GitHub, and if it's good, people will start flocking to it, going to it, and downloading it, and using it, and integrating. At some other times, and some founders I speak with, they went without thinking about the consequences. They seem pretty naive to me. Like, no, I don't know. My friends used the Apache, or my previous startup where I worked there, they were using Apache. I use Apache. Like, okay, have you thought about the fact that it can be incorporated in someone else's product and you don't see anything back? Like, if they're bigger than you, they can maintain the fork and they don't rely on you. Oh no, I haven't thought about that. I've had these conversations, and some other times it's just like some other times it's just a pattern. Like Simon Phipps calls it the rights ratchet model, which is the sugar CRM model. Gain adoption, and after a while, when you need to clean up the books for one reason or another, you squeeze and change the license, change the availability to others, and start milking your users.
There are so many different people that you meet who have so many different, wildly different perspectives on what open source is, right? I recall having conversations with an individual who, defined his open source success by how many users were using his product. And it's like, that's you got a good product. That doesn't mean you're got a collaborative community or you're actually open source, or what does that mean? And it's very similar to what you just said, right? Yeah, somebody learns from the last startup that that was the license they used, and so yeah.